Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRIENDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you're paying close attention to the NFC East this offseason, you've probably heard some buzz swirling around the potential blockbuster trade that could shake up the division. And I mean shake it up in a big way. Rumors are pointing towards the Detroit Lions possibly trading Aiden Hutchinson, their star edge rusher, to the Washington Commanders. Yeah, you heard that right, Hutchinson, a guy who's rapidly become one of the league's most disruptive pass rushers, could be heading east to strengthen Washington's front seven. It's a move that could redefine what this team is capable of defensively and send a serious message to the rest of the NFC. Now, let's break down what's fueling these rumors. The Lions, sitting at 11-3 and with about $3.9 million in cap space, are in a bit of a tricky spot. They're coming off a season where their defense, specifically the secondary, has been under some scrutiny, while Detroit's offense has been clicking, thanks in part to Jared Goff and his impressive deal. They're quietly looking to rebuild their pass rush and secondary without overspending or overextending themselves. There's skepticism about the long-term sustainability of their edge rush after 2025, especially considering the injury history that's crept into their roster. They've been leaking around 9 points per game on defense, which isn't terrible but certainly leaves room for improvement, especially if they want to compete deep into the playoffs. On the flip side, the Commanders are sitting at 4-10, clearly in a rebuild mode. They're desperate for an elite pass rusher, someone who can turn their front seven into a real nightmare for quarterbacks. Their pass rush, as it stands, has been underwhelming, an area they've struggled with consistently. Adding Hutchinson would give them a true disruptor, someone who can rack up sacks, pressure quarterbacks, and create turnovers. This isn't just about boosting the pass rush, it's about transforming the entire defense into a unit that opponents fear. When you look at the metrics, Hutchinson's career stats are eye-popping. He's accumulated 35 sacks, 220 tackles, including 140 solo tackles, a hefty 45 tackles for loss, 80 quarterback hits, and even some game-changing plays with 3 interceptions and 5 forced fumbles. His PFF grade averages around 82+, which is outstanding, and his career AV approximate value sits at 42, showing consistent impact. In the 2025 season, Hutchinson is projected to continue his dominance. He's played 14 games, racking up 5 sacks, 52 tackles, 32 solo, and 10 tackles for loss. His pressure rate remains elite with 22 quarterback hits, and he's been a force against both the pass and run. Notably, he's been injury-free in 2025, which only boosts his value. His PFF grade for that season was an incredible 87. 5 with pass rush grades of 83, 4 and run defense at 79. 2. His pressure efficiency is off the charts with 35 hurries and an EPA expected points added per rush of -0.17. That's a game wrecker. And considering the Lions' hesitations about maintaining durability and consistency with injuries past, trading Hutchinson might be a move to secure some high-value draft picks. And that's where the trade idea gets interesting. The Lions could be looking for 2 second-round picks in exchange for Hutchinson. A hefty price. Maybe, but in terms of impact and future potential, it's a trade that could be worth it. Detroit's focus seems to be on cap management and building around Jared Goff, focusing their dollars on keeping him happy and the offense thriving. Their defensive rebuild could involve reallocating resources, especially if they believe Hutchinson's injury history makes a long-term commitment risky. For Washington, this trade could be a game-changer. Think about it. Adding Hutchinson to their defensive line would massively boost their pass rush, which has been a weak spot for years. Last season, Washington's team sack total was around 28, which isn't terrible, but it's nowhere near the elite levels needed to consistently threaten top-tier offenses. With Hutchinson, that number could easily jump by plus 16%, pushing them closer to the top of the league in sacks and pressure. That kind of disruption can alter games, take pressure off the secondary, and give the entire defense a new level of confidence. Statistically, Hutchinson's presence on the field has already proven to be impactful. His EPA per rush of -0.17 indicates he's a constant threat to get to the quarterback, forcing hurried throws and mistakes. His ability to generate pressure without needing help from blitzes makes him a perfect fit for a defense that wants to be aggressive and disruptive. Plus, his versatility and work ethic, no injuries in 2025, show that he's a reliable piece that can be built around. For the Commanders, acquiring Hutchinson isn't just about one player. It's about signaling a new era, a building block for a defense that can dominate for years to come. Looking at the bigger picture, this move fits into Washington's broader strategy of building a ferocious, young, and talented defense that can compete with anyone in the league. They're aiming for a defensive identity that's aggressive, relentless, and capable of creating turnovers. If they land Hutchinson, it's like adding a cornerstone to that foundation. Imagine a front seven with Montez Sweat, Chase Young, and Hutchinson all rushing together. Opposing quarterbacks would have no easy nights. Opponents would have to game plan around that trio, and that opens up opportunities for the linebackers and secondary to make plays. And let's not forget, this isn't just about 2024 or even 2025. It's about setting up a future where the Commanders are no longer just trying to compete, but are genuine contenders. Hutchinson's impact could elevate the team's overall defensive efficiency, reduce points allowed, and help turn close games into wins. Plus, the psychological boost for the team and fans alike would be enormous. It's a statement move, showing that Washington is serious about competing at the highest level. Of course, there are risks. Detroit might be hesitant to part with a young star and a proven disruptive force, especially if they believe Hutchinson can continue to develop into a league-defining player. The price tag of 2 second-round picks isn't insignificant, and there's always the chance that a young player like Hutchinson could hit a rough patch or suffer injuries. But the upside for Washington is undeniable. They'd be getting a player who can change games from the edge, and in today's NFL, that's often what separates good teams from great ones. Now, some analysts compare this potential trade to the recent move involving Chase Young, who was traded to the San Francisco 49ers. That trade, which saw Young rack up 12 sacks in 2023, was a clear indication that the league values pass rushers highly, and that teams are willing to make bold moves to acquire elite talent. Hutchinson, in many ways, is a similar type of disruptor, young, talented, and proven on the field. For Washington, acquiring someone with Hutchinson's pedigree would send a loud message that they're not just rebuilding, they're actively reloading for a serious playoff push. In terms of playoff implications, adding Hutchinson could push Washington's odds from +12000 to +5800, making them a much more dangerous team with a legitimate shot at postseason success. His presence on the field could be the difference in tight games, especially in the playoffs where pressure and pass rush are everything. His career sacks, combined with his ability to generate pressure and impact the game's outcome, make him a true X-factor. If he hits his stride in Washington's system, it's not unreasonable to expect at least 2-5 sacks in playoff games, which could be the difference-maker in deep postseason runs. Looking at the division, this move would also send a message to the NFC East rivals. The Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants are all watching closely, knowing that if Washington can upgrade their pass rush with a player like Hutchinson, they'll be a much tougher challenge. It could turn the NFC East into a 3-team race where Washington is firmly in the mix, not just as a rebuilding team, but as a legitimate contender. That's the kind of shift that can define an entire era of football in the division. In conclusion, this trade scenario, while still in the rumor stage, makes a ton of sense for Washington. It's about more than just adding a talented young pass rusher. It's about sending a statement that this team is serious about contending now and in the future. Hutchinson's impact on the field could be immediate and profound, helping to transform Washington's defense into one of the league's most feared units. The potential to elevate the team's overall performance and playoff chances makes this a move worth watching closely as the offseason unfolds. And who knows? Maybe we're looking at a new chapter in Commanders' history, one where they become not just playoff contenders, but real Super Bowl challengers, thanks to a bold move that could reshape the NFC East landscape for years to come. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you think Hutchinson is the missing piece to finally take this defense to the next level? Or do you believe the price is too high for a young star? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory. And whatever happens, you can be sure that the fans are in for an incredible ride.